You know, there's just something different about the way this Cowboys running back battle feels right now. It's not just another training camp competition. It's one of those position groups that could end up defining how the offense looks all season long. And for as much as we've been talking about defensive tackle or cornerback injuries, the running back spot keeps creeping back into the conversation. Why? Because for the first time in a while, we really don't have that one guy who's the obvious, unquestioned starter. No Zeke in his prime. No Pollard with the clear lead. This time it's wide open, and that's what makes it exciting. When you think about it, the first carry of the year means more than people give it credit for. It's not just another play. It's the moment where you set the tone for the season. You show the other team and yourself what kind of football you want to play. Do you want to come out throwing 5, 6, 7 times in a row like we saw recently? Or do you want to plant your flag, run downhill, and let the defense know you're coming right at them? Right now, the Cowboys RB room is deep. Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, Jaden Blue, Malik Davis, Phil Maffa, Deuce Vaughn, even Hunter Luepke. And the thing is, every single one of these guys has a reason why they could get that first carry. But there's also a reason why they might not. That's what makes this so fun to follow, the unpredictability. So here's what I want you to do. If you were the coach, who's getting that first handoff? Is it the power runner who falls forward every time? The home run threat who can score from anywhere? Or the steady vet with playoff experience? Drop your pick in the comments and I'll put a poll up so we can see where Cowboys Nation stands. And hey, if you're loving these breakdowns, hit that subscribe button. We're pushing towards 16,000 subscribers, and every single one of you helps keep this channel going strong. If you've been following camp closely, you've probably noticed there's one guy who's starting to look like the favorite in this RB competition, Javonte Williams. Now, he's not the flashiest name in the room, but the clues are starting to add up, and it's hard to ignore them. First, he didn't dress in the last game. Not because he's hurt, he's perfectly fine. And when a healthy player sits out like that in preseason, especially one in a position battle, that usually tells you the coaching staff already has a pretty good idea of where he stands. The other thing with Javonte is his style. He's not going to dance in the backfield. He's not trying to bounce every run outside. He's a pads down, downhill, fall forward type of back. And in a league where defenses are faster than ever, sometimes that straightforward physical approach is exactly what keeps the chains moving. You hand it to him, he lowers the shoulder, and even if the play is bottled up, you're looking at 2nd and 6 instead of 2nd and 9. That's a big difference for your play caller. We've seen flashes from him already, in joint practices, in scrimmages, where you just think, yeah, that's the kind of run that wears on a defense. He's not built for highlight reels, but he's built for winning those ugly yards that win games in December. And you can see why the Cowboys staff might lean toward him as the tone setter. Now, I'm not saying it's a done deal. Miles Sanders and Jaden Blue are still in the conversation, but right now, if I had to put money down, I'm betting Javonte is the guy who gets that first carry of the season. And if that happens, it sends a very clear message about the style of football the Cowboys want to play in 2024. But I'm curious where you stand on this. Do you think the Cowboys should lean on a power back like Javonte to start games, or do you prefer a speed guy who can break it big early? Drop your take in the comments, because I guarantee this is one of those debates that will heat up the closer we get to kickoff. And don't forget, hit that like button if you're enjoying these deep dives. It really helps more Cowboys fans find the channel. While Javonte Williams might be pulling ahead in the RB1 race, the supporting cast behind him is where things really get interesting. You've got Miles Sanders, a guy with proven NFL production, and Jaden Blue, the younger, flashier weapon with that home run gear. Both bring something different to the table, and both could play big roles even if they're not, the one taking the first snap. Let's start with Miles Sanders. The resume speaks for itself. Strong seasons in Philly, playoff experience, and the kind of vision you only get from years in the league. But football can be cruel, and one minor injury in camp can slide you down the depth chart quickly. That's exactly what happened here. Before he got nicked up, there was a real chance he could have been the starter. Now he's fighting to reclaim that momentum, and while I think he makes the roster, because of his pedigree, there's no question his stock has dipped. Still, he's the kind of back who can handle a variety of situations: goal line carries, pass protection, catching a swing pass for a first down. That versatility matters in a committee approach. Then there's Jaden Blue. This kid brings juice. He's got legit burst, can stretch the field from the backfield, and, maybe most importantly, he's a real threat in the passing game. That's something neither Javonte nor Miles can match at the same level. You can line him up next to Dak, motion him out wide, and suddenly you've got a mismatch against a linebacker. The concern here is making sure he's more than just a gadget player. If he only gets touches on obvious passing downs, defenses will sniff it out. Here's the thing. I can easily see a scenario where Sanders is RB2 on paper, but Blue ends up with some of the most explosive plays of the season. That's the beauty and the challenge of this depth chart. The Cowboys might not have a true bell cow, but they do have weapons. So let me ask you, if you had to pick one of these two to complement Javonte, who are you going with? The experienced vet who's been there before, or the young gun who can take it to the house? Drop your choice in the poll, and if you're loving the breakdown, hit that subscribe button so we can push toward 16,000 strong in Cowboys Nation. Now let's talk about the battle that might be the most intense of all, the fight for that fourth running back spot. This is where things get tight, because unlike teams that have a clear lead back and can roll with just 3 RBs, the Cowboys are running a true committee. And when you run a committee, depth matters. That's why I think they carry 4 backs on the roster instead of 3. Right now, the names in the mix are Malik Davis, Phil Maffa, Deuce Vaughn, and Hunter Luepke. And each one brings a different flavor to the table. Malik Davis has made the biggest push recently. His runs have had that spark, that Isaiah Pacheco-type energy. He's not overly shifty, but he runs hard, with speed and determination. That kind of intensity is contagious, and the word is, the locker room has noticed. When teammates are excited to see you back and making plays, that says something. Phil Maffa is a different story. He's a younger back with traits that mirror Javonte Williams, strong, physical, and built for downhill runs. The problem? If Javonte is already on the roster, Maffa's role becomes harder to define right now. That's why I think he's destined for the practice squad early, with a bigger role in the future when roster spots open up. Deuce Vaughn has the advantage of ties to the organization through his dad, but sentiment aside, it's been a challenge for him to carve out a consistent role. He's still got a shot at the practice squad, but making the main 53 feels like a long shot unless something changes quickly. And then there's Hunter Luepke. He's more of an H-back, then a traditional running back, which means his roster spot might come from the tight end allocation rather than the RB pool. That versatility could keep him around even if he's not in the main RB rotation. So here's your question. If you could only keep one of these guys for that 4th RB spot, who would it be? The energy runner, the Javonte clone, the undersized wild card, or the do-it-all H-back? Drop your answer in the comments, because this decision might be closer than most fans think. We've broken down the entire running back room, and now it's time to make the call. Who gets the first carry of the season? Who's in the rotation? And who might be watching from the sideline in street clothes? Here's my prediction. Javonte Williams gets that first handoff. He's been the most consistent in camp. His physical style fits what the Cowboys want to establish early, and the fact that the staff held him out of that preseason game tells you they already view him as a starter. That opening run, whether it goes for 2 yards or 20, will set the tone. Smash mouth, downhill, and physical. Behind him, I see Miles Sanders in the RB2 role. His experience and ability to do a little bit of everything, block, catch, run inside, make him the ideal complement. He might not have the burst he once had, but he's steady, and in big moments, that matters. RB3, Jaden Blue. He brings the speed and versatility this group needs. I think the Cowboys will design specific packages for him. Screens, wheel routes, maybe even lining up in the slot to create mismatches. He won't get the most carries, but he could end up with some of the most memorable plays. RB4 is where it gets tricky, but I'm giving the edge to Malik Davis. His energy and hard running have made too much of an impression to ignore. Phil Maffa goes to the practice squad as the next man up if injuries hit. Deuce Vaughn, same story, a practice squad stash with upside in certain matchups. And Hunter Luepke stays on the roster but listed as a fullback H-back instead of a true RB. So that's my call. Javonte Williams, RB1 Miles Sanders, RB2 Jaden Blue, RB3 Malik Davis, RB4 Hunter Luepke, FB H-back. Now it's your turn. Drop your prediction in the comments, vote in the poll, and let's see how Cowboys Nation stacks up. And remember, if you've enjoyed this RB deep dive, hit that like button and subscribe. We're pushing towards 16,000 subscribers. And with the season coming up fast, you don't want to miss what's next.